What up? It's your boy T-Bear in the reaction. Today is Wrestle Wednesday. It's about to get some. Today is a Royal Rumble edition of WrestleMania. WrestleMania, a Royal Rumble edition of Wrestle Wednesday, where most of the videos are in honor of the Royal Rumble, which come out this Saturday. What happens this Saturday? So this one that is going to be an informational one. So that's why I make this last out of all the Royal Rumble videos I reacted to. Couldn't react to a reaction of a Royal Rumble because the original video got taken down the day of. So anyway, this is 10 times. This is from partsFUNknown, partsFUNknown. We'll see. Whatever. I'm trying to pronounce it. Anyway, you got it. Anyway, this is 10 times WWE got the Royal Rumble wrong. You know, WWE is not 100% perfect. They're never perfect. They know all the way to fuck shit up. Whether it's decisions, title changes, bookings, pushes, etc. They know ways to fuck it up. So let's see how the 10 times they done fucked up a Royal Rumble. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to not be sued by Michael Buffer, because hot damn, he'll get you apparently. Deep in the heart of Rumble Month, the best time of the year, and of course the biggest question on everyone's lips is who should win the Royal Rumbles? Give me Liv Morgan and Finn Balor, but that's just me, please and thank you. But WWE...
That would be nice if Finn win it and Liv. You know, I was like, right now it's between Liv or Bianca for me. But anyway, for real, actually Bianca, Liv, or Rhea for me. And Phil would be a nice pick.
Give me what I want. They've demonstrated on many occasions that what I want and what I get are estranged bedfellows.
Yup, you got that right. Especially with that bucktooth doofus right next to Vince.
And friends cock a snooker my hopes and dreams and repeatedly give me Batista's on toast.
And
honestly, they can never kill
yes man right there.
Love Bruce. Of the Royal Rumble. They just can't do it, and they've tried many times. How many? I'm Adam, hailing from partsFUNknown, and here are 10 times WWE got the Royal Rumble wrong. And if you would not like to get your life wrong, you better subscribe to our channel. We're taking a more aggressive tone in 2022, so subscribe.
So hold up. I don't want my life to be wrong, so I will just subscribe. Anyway, let's go.
You dumb prick. Number 10, 2017. Who won? Randy Orton. 5 years ago. Bloody hell, 5 years ago. Stop it, passage of time. Stop it. 2017 was hyped as one of the most legend-studded Rumbles of all time. Goldberg, Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Jericho. Any of these guys could have conceivably walked away with the win. Instead, that somehow went to Randall.
Yeah.
Mr. Keith Orton picked up his second Royal Rumble win. And maybe I'm just automatically against anyone winning the Rumble more than once, but hot dog, that is underwhelming. To the point where they had to throw hated Roman in there in order to give Randy a pop when he finally won. And who should have won? Tempted to say Chris Jericho has won. He deserved it after decades of not winning the thing. And two, to set up what should have been the Universal title match at WrestleMania 33, Jericho versus KO. But actually, I'm going to go for Bray Wyatt. WWE should have had Bray win the Rumble, Orton win the title at Elimination Chamber, and then have Wyatt versus Orton for the WWE title at Mania, with Bray winning obvious copters. Number 9, 1990.
Okay,
who won? Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
in 1993.
Yeah. This is at the time Hulk was getting the Cena treatment. He was like loved, but he was loved at the time because, you know, there wasn't that many grown fans, and folks wasn't like booing him. But then again, they was like more like chilling their heel when they beat him, but then overwriting it with boos, like with Sid beat him at one time. But yeah.
WWE made a very...
Oh my God, go back right there. I'm laughing at seeing Raven as Johnny Polo at the time. Look at the young JR. Wow. Linda back in the day as well too. But you look at Raven as Johnny Polo. That's crazy right there. Right?
WWE made a very welcome and defining change to the Rumble format in that the winner would be guaranteed a World Championship match at WrestleMania, a stipulation that lives with the Rumble.
So that's when it started with that.
That's all well and good, but it did mean that from 1988 to 1991, 1992 had its own unique stipulation, anyone could win the match and see their stock elevated in the company without having to tie WWE into booking them in the WrestleMania main event, which means that Hulk Hogan, current WWE champion, did absolutely not need to win his first Rumble. Who should have won? Mr. Perfect. Fun fact, in the weeks leading up to the night,
I would say, all right, if me as a face fan, but kayfabe, all kayfabe alignment side, I do agree. If I wasn't, if I all that side, I would agree because he is one person that did deserve a push through the legendary career. Mr. Perfect did deserve a good push and at the end hold a title. If despite the alignment, all alignment kayfabe side.
1990 Royal Rumble, Mr. Perfect, who was undefeated in WWE for the last few years, was booked to win the Rumble match. At the 11th hour, Hogan successfully campaigned to win the match instead, which was a
shit. Yep, I did hear about the Hogan politic and all that. Then that's why I grew to find out why a lot of people did not like they did not like Hogan back then. Anything. I did understand. Then I get why folks hated Hogan from the time being, and why they was happy he turned heel because they wanted they wanted to really hate. They wanted a reason to hate him, and him going in they hated him. And then it became a love to hate thing.
It was a crying shame
for the Hill fans, not me.
Feuding for months, a feud that saw Perfect actually smash up Hogan's WWE title belt, seeing as Hogan would eventually beat Perfect at Saturday night's main event 26. Having Perfect win the Rumble would have been, well, it would have been a perfect escalation of the rivalry. Number 8, 2020 Women's. Who won? Charlotte Flair. Speaking of last-minute changes, WWE has a habit of switching out the Rumble winner.
Who was supposed to be?
Sometimes even on the day of the pay-per-view, premium live event itself. One such fate befell the scheduled winner of the 2020 Women's Rumble, which was eventually won by Charlotte. While Big Charlie eventually winning a Rumble match seems like an inevitability, Flair's stock in the company was so high that she could simply dictate a challenge to Rhea Ripley if she wanted an NXT title shot. In fact, doing so would have made her appearance at NXT TakeOver Portland even more of a wonderful shock. Who should have won? Shayna Baszler. More than anything, just so that getting her to WrestleMania 36.
Yeah, I will say this. And again, this is another kayfabe alignment sign. Shayna should have won that. Shayna should have won. It's like it's like, especially where the hell is she have won, despite her alignment. Where is she at right there? Like, where has she been that day? She could have been like the perfect anti-hero face character to go against Charlotte with her in SmackDown to tie her up, but they didn't capitalize with that either though. But
didn't ruin an entire Elimination Chamber match because it really, really did. A lot of things should have happened with Baszler in early 2020. She was the world's most fearsome monster.
Now, at the time, when she went against Becky and lost to Becky, I let it go because she was a heel and Becky was a face. I let it slide and everything, but I let it slide though. But it was all the way around. Definitely, if it wasn't all the way around or KVS, I would love for her to have the push. But here we are.
Out of NXT, and she absolutely needed to make a dominant debut and should have done so by winning the Rumble before going on to beat Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36. Still, at least she got to feud with a doll in her main roster career, so all's not lost there. Number 7, 1993. Who won? Yokozuna. At the end of the day, it makes sense that Yokozuna won the 1993 Royal Rumble. He was a foreign menace and represented the biggest guy that Vince could find who wouldn't also ping a drug test failure in the wake of the WWE steroid scandal. The company needed a different kind of giant, and the 500-pound Japanese Samoan certainly fit the weight requirements. But was he the best pick for that particular Rumble, that particular year? We don't think so. Who should have won? Randy Savage. In 1993, WWE was in a period of transition where the older titans of the golden era, Savage, Hogan, Warrior, were departing the company to make way for the new generation. Such a thing requires the passing of a torch, an act that Hogan infamously refused to do for Vince's new face of the company, Bret the Hitman Hart. At WrestleMania 9, Bret lost the title to Yoko before Hogan snaffled it for himself in a famously rubbish bit of booking. How much better could it have been if Savage had won the Rumble, one of his last great accolades before heading to WrestleMania? Randy Savage versus Bret Hart could have been f***ing dynamite, with Savage putting over the Hitman, cementing Bret as the top guy.
Good.
Number 6, 1999. Who won? Vincent Kennedy McMahon. How could we forget? The Vince Russo-iest thing in a long and terrifying legacy of Vince Russo things. 1999 was a weird year for WWE, with every month seeing some sort of Looney Tunes new shenanigan taking place. Austin becoming joint CEO of the company, China winning the right to challenge for the WWF title at SummerSlam, Vince actually winning the WWF title in September on SmackDown, Triple H marrying an unconscious Stephanie. It was a mad year, and boy, did the Rumble set the tone, with Vince McMahon Hitman winning the entire thing before going on to forfeit the shot, and also something about a cage match and Big Show, I guess. And look, it was just a lot of screwy nonsense. Who should have won? Steve Austin. I mean, of course he should have. Austin was going on to face The Rock at WrestleMania, was he not? So, like, Austin should have won the Rumble. Wrestling doesn't have to be this hard, boys. Now, I know what you're thinking. That would give Austin 3 wins in a row, right? Surely that's bad. Well, that's why. Number 5, 1997. Who won? Steve Austin. This should have been different. WWE are never satisfied.
I think this is the one. I think it's the one where he got eliminated, but it was with him and Brett. I think it's the one where him and Brett was fighting over the elimination, and he really did get eliminated, but he came back in and eliminated Brett. Then the ref didn't see it, but and he got eliminated Brett. Yeah, I was kind of, because this time Austin was the bad guy at the time to hear, and I was pissed about that.
Taking the easy road with the Rumble. In 1994, 2 men won it to throw the grap amongst the pigeons, and in 1997, the road to Mania was further complicated by Steve Austin getting eliminated on camera so everyone could see it, then slithering back into the ring like the naughtiest snake since Randall, and ousting the man who actually won the match, Bret the Hitman Hart. Who should have won? Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
Like Randy Savage earlier in this list, this would end up being the last time the Hitman could have won the Rumble, and his first time doing it without having to share the honors with Lex Luger. And it would have been the perfect setup to what should have been the WrestleMania 13 main event, the rematch that everyone wanted to see, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels 2. Of course, HBK had his own thoughts on that booking, so this is probably the most understandable call on this list. But in a better, less dumb, less petty world, the Hitman winning should have been the result, saving Austin's first Rumble win for his coronation year, 1998. Number 4, 2012. Who won? Sheamus. In some ways, when it comes to the Royal Rumble, it's a good thing WWE has 2 world titles, as it doubles the potential winners of the Rumble match. Sometimes, though, that's a double-edged sword that plunges right into the back of the obvious winner that everyone wants, just so WWE can swerve us on the day and do the most surprising, aka least desirable thing. Shayna Baszler knows what's up, and so does one other superstar. Who should have won? Chris Jericho. Y2J returned to WWE in early 2012 with a weird and interesting gimmick. He'd be super jazzed about being there and then refuse to speak, walking away from the ring, leaving fans puzzled, going through manic episodes basically, and then suddenly crashing. This lasted for a few weeks until the Rumble Go Home Raw, where Jericho said one thing, just one: this Sunday at the Rumble, it's going to be the end of the world as you know it.
That should have been
cool.
That
everyone thought
they should have capitalized on all of that. They should have.
In place, he's going to win the Rumble, then everything will be revealed, an overdue Rumble win capping off a hot return and weekly intrigue. Then WWE thought, sorry, that's a bit predictable, let's have bland happy Sheamus win it instead for no reason.
But then again, I'm probably happy with Sheamus because I think at the time Sheamus was a face, so yeah.
A good job. Number 3, 2014. Who won? Batista.
Oh,
this
yes.
Obvious. Batista showed up for a WrestleMania main event against Randy Orton that no one wanted to see, looking like Pitbull's dad, and solidified everyone's mind that instead of old Evolution, they'd actually rather see a payoff to the Daniel Bryan storyline that's been running since SummerSlam, please and thank you. So crushingly inevitable did Orton versus Batista seem, and so much did the crowd really not give a honk, that when Rey Mysterio, beloved Rey Mysterio, entered the Rumble at number 13, it became clear that Daniel Bryan would not be in the match. Then the crowd elected to not only turn out of Puff Batista and his big brain head full heel, but they turned every single other person in the Rumble full heel as well. Who should have won? I mean, have you not been paying attention? Daniel Bryan should have
Daniel Bryan should have won, but then again, then he didn't go, and they booed the hell out of Ray and all that. And for a moment, this is when, and this is against, he's still part of Shield. For a moment, they was behind Roman Reigns. This is before Roman Reigns, as a face, was getting booed because they felt he was shoved down the throat and all that. But yeah.
One, a guaranteed title shot at Mania being the perfect fly in the Authority's ointment. How would they try and screw him out of it? Angles for days instead of booze, all the booze for Batista. Number 2, 2015. Who won? Roman Reigns. Who should have won? Daniel Bryan. Again, it's the hardest.
This is one I went to, and they were pissed at Daniel Bryan. I did kind of want Daniel Bryan to win, but I was okay with Roman, but folks wasn't feeling Roman. But I was only okay with it because he was a face. If he's a heel, then I'll be along with the crowd.
and cruelest WWE have ever trolled us. Sheer, unabashed, pant-dropping, butthole-brandishing contrarianism that genuinely beggars belief. On the road to the Royal Rumble, Roman Reigns was the obvious winner for months. Everyone knew he was being strapped to a rocket. People weren't quite jazzed for it. He seemed miscast as the new John Cena. But hey, there weren't really other options. And then WWE dropped another option back on TV weeks before the Rumble. Daniel Bryan, who never lost his title, making a heroic recovery from a deeply concerning injury, who infamously didn't get to win the 2014 Rumble, returned before the 2015 Rumble. Surely everyone thought it would make no sense for WWE to do this if Bryan wasn't winning, and then he didn't. Not only that, Bryan was eliminated early, looking like a total loser, and the first entrant after him was Goldust, which means the first thing from WWE production on the screen after crowd favorite Daniel Bryan was ousted were the giant words, "Shattered Dreams." On one hand, that is an exceptional prank. On the other, you too. And number one, those times WWE broke the Rumble itself. Every other entry on this list has been about the big dub getting the winner of the Royal Rumble match wrong. But for our final stop on this list, we wanted to cover both years where WWE got the format of the match wrong, messing with a winning formula in a way that made it worse. I know it's hard to imagine WWE taking something that isn't broken and feeling the need to fix it, but it's had two major medals with the Rumble in the past 30 years. In 1995, they reduced the gap between entrants to 1 minute, in all likelihood to be kind to Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog, who were booked to enter 1 and 2 and last right until the final two. But the end result was one of the worst ever Rumbles, a frenetic mess that managed to feel slight at a mere 38 minutes long, and also drag thanks to the lack of spots created by endless arrivals of wrestlers. That's bad. In 2011, WWE went the other way, booking 40 men to compete in the Rumble rather than the usual 30.
I forgot about that. They did the 40 men one year.
Not the worst Rumble ever, but the extra 10 slots were just used to cram more lower mid-carders in there, which didn't justify at all the match's extra length. What should have felt like the biggest Rumble ever felt much more low rent for having a bunch more jobbers in it. The greatest Royal Rumble had the exact same problem, and worse, having 20 extra jobbers be a part of it. But I don't count that because that Rumble happened in the shadow dimension. And that's our list. What do you think is the biggest time that WWE has ever got the Royal Rumble wrong, other than 2015, obviously?
All right, so that's a good one right there. Yeah, everything was about fast. Even like kayfabe side, some of the stuff they say was fast, like with some of the guys that was ill, including with Shane Baszler and all of that, and Mr. Perfect. But I'm not totally reading because I don't want people skipping my roll down road with the hills. No, I'm rolling with the pace. But other than that, good video. So if you like my reaction, because I don't want folks getting wrong there thinking I condone stuff like that. I don't. I'm all about being a good guy and a hero. But other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.